He's a father. He's a great son to his mother. Uh, he's a health guru. He's a Yoda in our business. There's Yoda. There he is. There's a Yoda. He's a Yoda in our business. He's an SVP in ACN. And last, you always heard me say, his promotion SVP was by far the best I've ever seen. I mean, anytime you get the co-founders tearing up, Marvin Sachs is blowing his tune, the gospel, and you got Les Brown standing in for as I mean, my God, that's amazing. I don't know how you get all that talent on one stage and not bust up and touch your heart and pierce your heart. He's also a community leader. And I'll tell you something. His last time he was with us was June the 2nd, that month of June. What was his topic? Does anybody remember? Let me tell you what it was if you didn't remember. Gumbo for Success. Can we give a warm welcome to the one and only Senior Vice President, Dr. Nelson?
See, you got to see how big, and you got to see how lively the energy that Dr. Al Thomas brings to the table. Like, can any of you really see Al Thomas at a McDonald's serving you a burger? See, and I see everybody shaking their head, no. That's because you haven't grown. You have to grow. See, I can see him at McDonald's because I can see him in a scene right now, an undercover boss owning 1 million McDonald's, being able to go in there and flip a burger and sell some fries. How big is your imagination? As soon as he said that, I put a picture there. I could never see him as an employee, but I saw him as undercover boss on a TV show because he's that person. You got to figure out how big your thinking is. In fact, I'm going to encourage you to go get the book. In fact, I was riding home with one of my partners, and he was pouring into me. I was pouring into him from Calabasas yesterday. And, he's like, I just want to suck your brain. I just want to learn. And one of the things that keeps coming up is the books. He said, and I love, you have the right person in your seat, in your car, when they're asking you what you read. What are you reading? And if you don't have people sitting in your car or calling you, asking you what you're reading, then you need to be asking somebody what they're reading. And the first thing that came to mind, I had to go through. I said, well, I'm a Libra, so it's like I can't just pick one color. I just can't pick one leader. I just can't pick one person. I need a variety. I need 31 flavors. So I went in. It's like it really depends on the season. Like my go-to, if I'm completely vexed, I'm going to As a Man Thinketh. I said, I heard that. I was like, no, you get that one. And I said, what I'm giving you is the bricks in the wall. These aren't the ones that are the flary ones, or, we can get into the ones that are flavors and have specifics and skill sets, atomic habits, and many, but you need to have the brick and mortar. And think As a Man Thinketh is brick and mortar. I said, if I'm just resetting, then it's, Think and Grow Rich. That's second to the Bible. You should have it. And I'm going through, I'm like, well, the stage I'm in right now is creating something from nothing, which is The Alchemist. See, you got to know how this whole world of growth has been built. You need to have a foundation of understanding where it is, where it's starting, but more so where you're starting and your projection. You have to listen to people's conversations. You're going to get 3 conversations. You're either going to get somebody who's limited on what they say because they don't want to mess up and they don't know what to say, which means they're caught up in their head. Or you're going to get somebody who lives too far into the future, or you're going to live somebody who's talking all about the past. 85% of people want to talk about the past. Now, I'm going to tell you, you should run from them because they're just caught up on who they know, where they've been, all the negative stuff that's happened in their life, all the bad relationships. Well, I have trust issues. You can actually develop a muscle of discernment just by becoming, and I was interviewed on this, what is the number one thing that wealthy people, successful people have mastered? What is the one skill set you would develop? Listening. It is a lost art. Even people that think they're great listening talk too much. You ask somebody, are you a great listening? They will give you a complete 5-minute conversation, which means it was just a yes or no question. Are you a great listener? Yes, and I do this and this. Nobody asked you all that. Are you hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry. They'll give you a whole story behind food. What they ate yesterday, what they're going to eat today, when they ate last. Look, I didn't ask you all that. I just asked you, are you hungry? Are you tired? Well, I didn't take it. Nobody asked you all that. I'm going somewhere with this. See, when you become a great listener, then in turn, you can actually start to tap into what I call a vibe. This training today I'm going to give you is called Vibes. It's about a frequency. The people me and my partner were around yesterday. And there's several that were on there. We were there, and the creator of Uggs was sitting there. The actual developer and creator of E! Entertainment was sitting 2 rows behind me. It was only about 6 rows. And it's this person's place, his home in Calabasas. He decided to open up his door to nothing but influencers, multimillionaires and millionaires. It's truly, it was a whole mindset of those that live in a state of abundance. And so as we were driving back from Calabasas, what we did is we ripped it apart in a benevolent sense, not to be judgmental, but how can we actually take this and elevate it? And it's a vibe. So you got to figure out, how many optometrists do you have around you? How many people do you talk to that totally stimulate you? And you're pouring back into each other, back into that river of reciprocity. How many times does that phone ring and it's like, I can't wait to answer that call. I can't wait to talk to that person. I can't wait for that person. They have, hey, Jonathan, I got an idea. Hey, Jasmine, you know what? I just came with a concept. Hey, David, I know what you're working on. I've already worked on that. I have some things that I want to add to what you're doing. Take away what you don't like, and keep what you like. Hey, you're trying to get 5 more clients. I know how to do that. I just did it in 5 minutes versus 5 days. I got 3 new business partners. Let me tell you exactly the technique I used. Hey, you know what you're doing? I was reviewing it. It didn't work for me. And I'm going to tell you why I don't think it worked. But let's see how we can improve upon it. Not just what does. See, you got the listening. You have to learn how to find people who are not going to tell you no and going to take away what you're doing or tear down what you're doing without a substitute of something benevolent. There has to be a replacement. There has to be a give and take. You want to stay with people that are consistently living in a vibe of PMA. I love that, Roxanne. Please write that down. PMA, some of you may not write it down because you're like, well, what is PMA? No, I didn't say PMS. I said PMA. Darn it. Don't get me twisted here. PMA, positive mental attitude. I sat there and I was listening, and one of the things I was talking to my partner about, we're like, I want you to learn, because I'm talking to myself when I talk to somebody that's in my space. And I'm like, look for what not with that which you know. Look for not that which you know. Go looking for everything that you don't know. Because what you don't know will add a comma to your bank account. I was listening to how he opened up, one of the guys opened up the room, and he was going somewhere. He said, that was a joke, that was a joke, that was a joke. He used a joke, he said, I just did a major deal, financial deal with Netflix. I was like, that's amazing. Because it's all high profile. He said, yeah, I just signed a contract for 12 months to be able to have Netflix on my TV. It's like, I like that. That's a delivery there. I gotta write that down of how you're breaking and how you're entering. He asked a question, he said, how many people here How many people here, this is their first time seeing me? And how many people here, you've never seen me before? I was like, I like that. Every hand has to go up. How many people have seen me before? How many people have never seen me before? Raise your hand. I was like, I like that. So you go in there and listen with judgment and, okay, do I like this? Do I don't like that? I'm going down taking notes. I'm becoming a student of the greatest minds that walk the planet. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I'm listening to the tonation. It's a vibe. Do you know if you actually go on WhatsApp and you put it on your desktop and you push record, it actually has an algorithm to the way that you speak? Nod your head if anybody's familiar with what I'm talking about. You can see the little lines when it goes up and down. Do you understand that I can read an entire person's, like their entire history of where they've been, where they are, and where they're going off of that algorithm? Do you understand that's the same algorithm that people use when they're actually doing a truth monitor to see if you're for a lie detector? It's the exact same monitor that you can actually study people off of that. That's how weird I am. That's how far I've gone into understanding who I'm talking to. I will actually have the monitor up while I'm doing a Zoom with somebody and ask specific questions for a specific outcome and decide whether I want to deal with them ever again or not. I can completely tell you the person's monotone. You can actually monitor when you ask a question if they go silent. Now, I'm telling you some stuff that I've never told, but maybe 2 or 3 people, and the 2 or 3 people that taught me that are already past 9 figures in life. I don't want to talk. Or they vomit over you. Or they give you a drink of water with a fire hose. Or they're living in their past. Or they're hesitant to answer certain questions because they're scared as to how it's going to be interpreted. Everything from the lack of confidence to the overconfidence, to the egotistical, to the person that is walking in shadows, to the person that's been hurt too much, to the person that is just overtly, arrogant about who they are. Everything. I mean, you can, if you learn how to listen, there's 1,000 ways to listen. I'm not just talking about your ear. The body language of listening. If you just watch a person's body language, if you just look in a person's eyes, they will tell you everything. You don't have to figure out who to get into your life and who to get into your business, who to put on the shelf and who to cut loose, who to add, who to bring closer and who to, I mean, this is a season that either you bring people closer or you let them go because you have somewhere to go. You have somewhere you have to be. Nod your head if I'm talking to anybody. I'm warming up. Are y'all with me? Church is about to get started. So when you're looking at this, why I said vibes is because there's a stair step. We don't have time, but because this is the beginning of the month, I'm going to give you the foundation of where we're going to go. It's a hell of a foundation. I want to give you the things. In fact, I'm going to play a 7-minute. I'm going to save myself 7 minutes, which means I have to be done with this part of it within 13 to 14 minutes. Prayerfully, Dr. Al Thomas will leave me 7 minutes so I can do this. So I'm going to rush through this because it's the foundation for the month. Are you guys with me on that so far? Now, here's what you got to understand. The reason why most people fail in business, and I'm not going to give you the cliche, if you plan to fail, then you fail to plan, and you fail to plan, therefore you plan to fail. So yeah, you already know that, but there's a stair step, there's tools in the shed that you need to have. And there's so many. It's kind of like the heart, right? There's so much going on with the heart. Most people just see, oh, it's the heart. No, it's a whole lot more than that. There's a reason why some people have to have, a quadruple, triple, bypass. It's not just 1 or 2. So when we look at it, it's so intricate, but it's so simple, and it gives life to everything. So what's in your tool shed? Here's where I'm going to start at the top of what I call my pyramid of a tool shed. Is you need to have the most amazing freaking elevator pitch. The most amazing freaking, I want to curse, the most amazing freaking elevator pitch. Somebody says, what do you do? It should almost be like they turned on a neon light. Oh, you in trouble now. Oh, you asking me what I do? You should just light the freak up. What do you do? I'm a light bulb for the world. What do you mean by that? I'm 100,000 watts. I will light you up. I don't even know if we have enough time to talk about this. I mean, what does that mean? What it means is I bring life to every business that exists on this planet and every life that walks and crawls and moves that's alive. Because that's when you go to any event, when you're standing in the market, when you go to the coffee shop, when you meet somebody's relative, when you go to the gym, when you actually go and do yoga, when you ladies go get your hair done, everybody's always asking, what do you do? You know why your business hasn't taken off? Because you don't know what the freak you do. You give them this dry ass answer. Oh, what would you like my card? And this is what I'm into. And well, you know, it's a company and what we do is we broker and we kind of do this. And you sound like a dead fish because what you do is not really what you do. What you do is really who you are. They're asking you what you do, but they really want to know who the hell are you? It's kind of like dating. You go out, they ask you, so what do you do on the date? They really aren't asking you what you do. They really don't give a damn about what you do. They really want to know, who the hell are you? Can I see your credit score? What's your blood type? Can I meet your mother? Do you have anger issues? Did you get hurt in your last relationship? Do you have any assets? Do you have a future in mind? But they want to play this other coy game. They don't say all that. Are you vegan? Do you believe in God? But nobody asks it on the first date, but that's what they should be asking you. Did you have a foreclosure? Are we going to be on the bus in the next 6 months? Do you have your own business? Do you have a 1099? Do you have a trust set up? How many baby kids do you have? How many issues do you have? Are you scared of yourself? When I wake up in the morning, will I yell? These are the questions you should be asking. But no, you play that like, so what do you do? Well, I have a PhD, piled high and deep. So you got a degree. So everybody has some toilet paper on their wall. And what's that got to do with me? Is this making sense to anybody? The first thing you should have in your arsenal is an elevator pitch. I usually start with one of two. They ask, so what do you do? Or what's your name? I mean, I'm the architect. That's depending on the day. The other day, like yesterday, I was Morpheus. So, well, who is Morpheus? Morpheus is the God of truth. I tell you what you don't want to hear, but what you need to hear. I find cracks in your life and in your business and develop them. I fill them up. I find you because you can't see yourself outside of the frame. I am the one that actually will come and survey everything that you can't find and elevate you faster than you could ever go. That's who the hell I am. I said it consistently. And when you have a good tribe around you, as I do, I kept having people come up to me. See, and that's why when you go into events, you got to learn how to stop being Moses and you should have 2 or 3 road dogs. And I'm talking about like Al Thomas's. If you put me and Al Thomas in the room, game is over. One of us is dangerous as hell. But 2 of us, by the time I finish mentally wrecking somebody and then edifying him and saying, you like what I have to say? My partner's on the side of the room. You need to find him before you leave. See, you need 3 or 4 people to play this game called building a dynasty that roll with you, that understand the mastery of edification and fear of loss. I don't care who's on stage. I don't care if it's Jack Canfield. I don't care if it's Tony Robbins. I don't care if it's Oprah. I don't care if it's Ted Turner. You need to meet Al Thomas. He's actually the silent bomb that you need to meet. If you came here for just one reason, to have one amazing contact, before you leave, there's a man walking in this room that you'll hear him. He has an amazing, infectious laugh. It's loud. He has a red shirt. He loves making people smile. You cannot miss him. Let me tell you, he won't tell you this. He's owned his own airline. He's owned his own hotels. He's owned his own bank. He's partnered and developed literally presidents in this country. He's owned, this man is, he's Jesus on earth walking on water. We say God lives within us, so I'm not going to sit up there and go there and blaspheme. But I'm telling you right now, if ever he put an angel on this earth to be able to help and serve people, because that is his superpower, is loving on people that want to be helped. Go find a man named Al Thomas. When you master that type of game with 3 or 4 people who know how to play, that's how I built a team of over 1 million people. That's how we built a dynasty that has millions of dollars flowing through it. That's how I've diversified. That's how I've built in countries, is when you have a squad. You got to develop your squad. You got to develop your tribe, not just have a tribe, not just build a team, but cross-pollinate, and they know the script before you walk in. It's a movie, y'all. And either you're an extra in the movie or you're the star in the movie. I don't care who hosts the movie. I don't care if it's Paramount. I don't care if it's Lionsgate. I don't care who financed it. I don't care who the executive producer is. I don't even care who they told you was. Have you ever gone to a movie and they said this is the star, but somebody else stole the show? That needs to be you. You need to be that co-star, that sub-star, that extra. There's like, he just made the movie. Now, I don't like scary movies. I don't even remember the name of it. I think I was deadening my brain one night, and when I do that, I turn on a movie I don't want to think anymore. And I think it's the AI movie. Somebody put it in the chat. What's that AI movie with the little scary little doll? Yeah, Megan, right? So I threw on Megan on Netflix. And I'm looking at it like, this is just stupid. My brain is really going dead. But in one scene where this bully was bullying her and the other girl, the guy was beating her up, and then she woke up and scared the living crap out of him. And then she looked at him and said, "You should run." And it was the funniest crap on the planet that this doll came alive from the ground, looked at this big bullying kid, beating her up, and said, This is the part where you run. I played that back probably about 30 times. I was like, this is the part where you need to run. Just certain pieces that just take over a movie. You need to be that person that takes over a certain part in every movie that you walk into. And if you got a squadron, you start with 1 or 2, but there's power in numbers. You get 3 or 4. I'm going somewhere with this. I don't even think I'm gonna have time to show my video. I'll do it next week. Are you guys with me on this so far? Yes or yes? And you learn how to cross-pollinate. You learn how to truly edify. I mean, authentically edify your partner. I must have had a minimum of 20 people before the day was over yesterday, sitting in this guy's, he's sitting there with his Rolls Royce, or his, Rolls Royce. It wasn't a Bentley, sitting in his garage. He had all his classics. We're sitting inside his palatial home. It's intimate. It's an intimate palace. And I'm sitting there watching this man when the staircase and everything came down. And I'm looking at the client base and the audience, which is an amazing vibe, amazing vibe. But before the day was over, there was at least 20 people that came up to me and said, I mean, even as I was leaving, there was 3 people running up to me saying, I was told I need to meet you. That's when you know, not because of a title, not because of Dr. Nelson, not because of SVP Nelson, not because of this, or this, just because I'm with the right tribe. And then you're able to cross-pollinate. I'm going somewhere. Hopefully you guys are getting something. If you guys are reading between the lines here, who do you have in your tribe that from last Monday or last Friday to this Friday, you've been on the phone saying you need to have a conversation with this person. See, I know when I have the right person, when Barbie has me saying, I got about 8 people you need to talk to, because that's when you get yourself out of the way. That's how you build a dynasty. Why most of you don't have a dynasty is because you're trying to do it by yourself. You're having your own conversations. They only have you to look at. They only have you to listen to. Yeah, you're edifying this and that person, but I'm talking about an intimate tribe of 3 to 4 people, cross-pollination, that you're edifying and saying, look, you know what? You have a stomach ache. Yes, I know how to fix it, but I have a doctor that specializes in stomach aches. You need to have a conversation with them. And you have a financial problem. I have a person who that's all they deal with is that financial challenge. You want to get out of your job. I have a person who you need to have a conversation with. Look, you want to be able to buy property and you want to have multiple listings. I have a person who you need to talk to. Look, you want to be able to finance this and be able to put 70% down versus just 10 to 20%. I have somebody who you need to talk to. Look, you want to get into beauty products. I have somebody you need to talk to. Look, you want to get into education. Look, you want to be able to help with funding this nonprofit. You want to be able to expand this. I got somebody you need to talk to. And then create store hours with that person. And then you expand to 3. And then you expand to 4. See, success is a different language. Being successful, there's a different language. You haven't learned the language. You think because you speak English and because you know something about business, but there's a different language at 100,000, at 500,000, at $1 million, at $5 million, at $10 million deals. There's a different language and a different way in which it's being played. And until you have blockers, that's why in football you have people on the front line. That's why in basketball you have people that are doing pick and rolls. That's why in baseball you got pinch hitters. You got to get a squad. You need a squad. And you only know if you got the right MVP and the right players on your team. If people are coming at you without you, it's like, look, you know what? And if you have communication with that pinch player, that pinch hitter, then in turn, it's like I have one person on my team, Beth. She will text me and text me and text me. I got someone. She doesn't get upset if I'm not available. She doesn't feel let down if I don't make a call. She's like, I got this. But because she's so persistent, it's like, I got 3 people this week that are hitters. I need you to have a conversation with. I got 5 people waiting to hear about you. They own this, they do that. That's when you got a squad. Until then, everybody's just an extra in my movie because they don't understand how to play. And it's not like I don't train on it. It's not like I don't talk about it. It's not, how many times have you guys heard me teach edification? But you're still doing it on your own. You aren't doing it up, you aren't doing it down, and you don't have nobody around you. And you want to know why you're at a standstill, and 2024 is going to look like 2023. Why 2023 is going to look like 2022. We got 5 months. I'm counting every millisecond. Every tree, every fruit that falls off the tree that doesn't say wasn't a branch, because I'm too busy dealing with the roots right now. I have no time. I have to deal in a whole bunch of manure. The ones that understand that, understand they're working on themselves as hard and working on bearing fruit while I'm working on the tree. If not, they will leap. They'll fall off and get inside their head and have a conversation and an opinion and start playing the blame game. Or, well, you know, it's like, well, maybe they don't see the value of who I am. Maybe I'm not valuable enough. All this other BS in your head, instead of being able to work on yourself, making yourself more valuable, figuring out how I can contribute more. I can never be replaced. Now, when I say I'm not saying that from an ego perspective. I'm saying me as in you being me. You need to know I can never be replaced, and nobody will ever want to get rid of me. And if they do, it's only because they got a problem within themselves, because I bring too much to this freaking world. I work nonstop, day and night, to feed everybody. And if you need that exclusive attention, you need to go get a dog, because I'm building a dynasty. Me being you being me. By the way, that wasn't the angry black man. That was the passionate black man. Did that make sense? Right, Sue? Everybody gets it. Barbie does get it. You got to learn how to smile. Let's get to this real quick. After you get past that 2-minute elevator pitch, after you master under the understanding, the comprehension that I need a squad, 1, 2, or 3 people, then we get into understanding, okay, well, where does it go from there? When you got the 2-minute conversation, you're at an event. They want to know exactly, okay, so what's your name, architect? What's your name, Morpheus? Technically, let's just put that in. Let's take a bit. I'm tell you what I do. Sharing with you do what I do. I'm gonna take Manny. I'm gonna say, how you doing? What's your name? My name is Morpheus. It's the God of truth, because when it comes to business, I'm gonna tell you the truth. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I stay in contact with you. Why? Because people aren't going to keep cards anymore. We've gone to the digital platform of just being able to tap phones. So I want you to, what I want him to do. I don't even want to tap the phone. I like having the digital card. I've had it put on my phone 3 times. I don't like the digital card per se. Let me tell you why I don't. It's because I want you to put in work for me. I want you to type my name into your phone. I want to put my number in your phone. I want you to be sitting there looking at me while I'm taking my time, messing up intentionally, putting my number in your phone. I want you to remember the moment that we're spending right here in this time. It says, just tap your phone, and you're gone. No, I need your freaking phone. No, I don't have a digital card. So you can take my number or you can hand me your phone. It's done intentionally. Now I'm typing in my number. And then after I type in my number, I have to type in my name, and I got good, and you save it. Now guess what we got to do? Hey, let's take a picture together. I need you to send me the picture. There's instructions to success. I need you to take a picture, a selfie with me and you. If I open up my phone, and because it's blurred or whatnot, I don't have time to do it. I got 20 pictures in here. Now I only wanted 5. 15 wanted to take it with me. Since we're gonna do this, let's do it right. Hi, how you doing? Hey, click it. You won't forget me, and I won't forget you. Now we got a follow-up system in place. Now you're forced to send me that picture. You're forced to look at my face when you get home, and you're going through all the rest of, you got all these other cards, but when you open up your phone, you got all these texts and all these people's numbers. But when you open up your phone, my number and my text, that tall black king, that's who the hell I am. Walking through the Mediterranean. Remember me? How you doing? See that smile? See that skin? That shiny head? Yeah, you need to get in touch with me. I'm looking at you, looking at me, looking at you. There's a system, instructions to success. What a concept. Once we get through that part, we then get to, okay, so what is it that you do? Well, my conversation gets a little bit deeper. I want to get to vibes, but I'm gonna break that down only so you have the notes of it. But I want to tell you how the conversation goes. And this is how my conversation starts. And my boy is on here, Jeremy, and a couple other people that were with me. They'll tell you this is exactly how my conversation goes every time. You have to stimulate. You have to stimulate the mental capacity of another person's, their level. Water rises to its own level. So you have to stimulate their mental capacity. You have to test how high their capacity of intellect goes. What is their lid? For those that understand lid from, John Maxwell, and understand that if you're a 3, you can attract a 5. And if you're a 5, you can attract a 7. You can get a 6 to look at it, and you can get a 7 to hear you, but you can't get them in your business. Because on the leadership chain, on the leadership ladder, it's not a matter of you going out there catching a whale. It's about you becoming a whale. You can only attract who you are. That's why you invest more in yourself. We'll get to that at the end of this in the next 5 minutes. Are you guys following this conversation? So you have to test their intellect without offending them. Listen to what I just said. You have to test their intellect without offending them. That's what I love about my tribe. All of their intellects, well, most of their intellects are at a certain level. And I say my tribe across the land, around the world. Others I'm helping grow into that level. Like I had a young man there yesterday when he sat there, freaking phenomenal. But he literally submitted to saying, I'm here to learn, at the back of him, of his ego talking. And after I talked to him and taught him about, look, you just need to master the art of relaxed intensity. act as if you already are there. Because he's a young brother. He's got a kid. He's got another one on the way. He's got amazing business. He spent 10 years to know his wife. His mind is there. He's focused. I mean, body built. It tells you everything about a man that has discipline, focus, taking care of self, everything. And this young man, I was just like, I'm loving you. He said, I thank you for pouring into me. But in that conversation, I digress, stick with me here. I asked him, I said, are you familiar with, Catherine, are you familiar with Maslow's laws? Catherine says, yes. Most people I talked to said, no. And the other half said, I understand it a little bit. I said, well, what I do is I teach Maslow's, it's metaphorical, and I frame it like that. It's metaphorical. I teach Maslow's laws for success. If you look up Maslow's laws, it's about behavioral patterns for survival, for living, food, shelter, water. What I do metaphorically is I teach Maslow's laws for massive success. And then I tell them, write down Maslow's laws and go look it up. And they'll tell you in Maslow's laws, in the definition, there's 5 principles within that. They start with the first 5 principles. I said, I have 5 principles, and they aren't necessarily in order. So what I do is I actually will take a person and I'll take them from the top. I said, what I teach is spirituality. That's the top one for me. Now the rest don't have to be in order. Next, you have family, most important thing on the planet to me. Next to that, what you have is health. Next to that, what you have is time. Next to that, what you have is relationships. I said, if you master these 5 things that I call Byron's Maslow's laws of success, and you truly, like, really spend the next 3, 4, 5 years of investing in yourself in these 5 things, you will be larger than anybody you know in your lifetime. I said, they always come back and they said, well, where's the finances? Where's the money? I literally had about 4 or 5 people ask me and said, so what about the money? Because we're in a money, you know, we're in an abundant like environment there. Everybody's talking about their money there. I was like, what did I tell you? What did you write down there? What did you mentally capture there? You said spirituality, my God, my relationship. You said family, I agree. You said time, understanding how to truly manage time, make it work for you, make the flow go, compounding, all of that, which is the 8th wonder in the world. I get that. Health, I understand that. And you said relationships. I said, what's your relationship with money? What's your relationship with your body? What's your relationship with God? What's your relationship with your family? See, what I do, you can write this down. I'm sharing with you exactly how my conversation goes. So you understand what I'm known for all over the world is human equity and relationship currencies. And within that, there's currency. So you have to have a mastered, I mean, like a re-engineered, mastered copy of your 2-minute elevator conversation. And it has to be potent. And then you have to have a tribe to be able to edify. Start with one amazing person that's going to play team with you that is committed to getting flat out rich. You know, the only people who don't like talking about money is people who don't have any. So I'm going to tell you straight up, find somebody who wants to get flat out rich, and then you can always go back to being poor if you don't like it. Find somebody who is committed to getting wealthy, who wants to give back, who wants to love back, who wants to build back. Find that person and learn how to edify. Find you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many people you need to find to be able to go and make that happen. Does that make sense? You know, you got people that are trying to, you're married to somebody, you got a boyfriend, girlfriend, you got friends, and nobody in your life is playing that. Go get you some new friends. Go find some other people that get it. And stop messing with your life and want to take up air and space and time about things that will not project you, will not advance you, will not build you. While people are dying around you and people are giving birth. I got people that are giving babies, I got people that are dying, and you want to talk about what? Find some people that say, you know what, these are our goals, let's focus on this, and we can play for 2 years if we focus for 6. 6 months will give us 2 years. 2 years will give us 10 years. 3 years will give us 14. Just a focused track that's like, let's be like off the, no breaks. Go through every wall. That frequency, when you wake up in the morning, you ready to go? I have one person. I mean, Dom's right here, right now, taking notes. This is my part. This is my been pouring into him, and he pours into me. I get in the gym, he beats my ass. He comes in here, I beat his ass. It's real simple. Find people that's like they wake up and when they call you in the morning or they text you, it's like, hey, Ishmael, I am the gazelle. You're the lion. Let's see who's gonna get it today. Find people who call you with that kind of conversation. Hey, Jeff, are you the lion today or are you the gazelle? You gonna get eaten or you gonna eat? Who are you? Find people there. I don't need a conversation. They just called and yelled on my phone. Your ass still asleep? You better get your ass up. This is what I'm doing. You slow. Oh, you don't even want to live, huh? What? You doing what? Okay, keep doing what you're doing. Call me when you're ready to do something. Click. Find people that are gonna beat your butt daily, not seasonally, not every other day, not, oh, well, this is what happened. There's enough in life that will hold you back, suppress you, oppress you, be an obstacle, adversity, that you don't need people doing that for you. You need people that are lifting you up, inspiring you, jacking you out of your mind, getting excited about your idea, your concept, your business, and what you need to do, setting your goals, setting your boundaries, being able to run. I'm down to my last 5 minutes. I did not mean to go off that, but somebody need to hear what I had to say. That was Jesus talking, the Holy Ghost talking. Are y'all following me in this conversation? Let's get to vibes, because I'm going to break that down next week, obviously, because I don't have the time. I'm going to tell you how to write it out on your notes. For those taking copious notes, I want you to write it down. V I squared B E squared. V I squared B E squared. And then, of course, the S, vibes. I want to break it down in these last 4 minutes. V, the most important thing that happens within the personal side of your life. Your life, by the way, is a business. Your business is a life. Why are you on this call right now? Because there's value. Why aren't the people that aren't on this call on here? Because there's no value. When you don't pay attention. Paying has nothing to do necessarily with just money. It has to do with sweat equity. It has to do with developing yourself. It has to do with growing yourself. It has to do with daily reading. It has to do with daily calls. It has to do with daily recording yourself and listening to your voice to see how well expressed you are, how fully expressed you are. If somebody wants to buy what you have to say, starting with buying who you are, see value. The people that actually, I mean, in your business, that what they do when they look at a business is the valuation. When they look at a piece of property is the valuation. When people look at you for your opportunity, it's the valuation. Are you worth me getting into business? What people are saying when you offer them an opportunity is not, no, do I want to get involved with, telecom, or do I want to get involved with, marketing, or do I want to get involved with client building, and do I want to get involved with, I'm not good at sharing and selling. They aren't asking that. They're asking, do I want to freak with you? It's a street way of saying that. I'm from Chicago. I'm going to keep it away from that because it's being recorded. They're really asking, do I really want to deal with you? Why should I deal with you? Why should I freak with you? And you find the real people like Al, I'll freak with you. I'll do whatever what you doing. They don't, I'm not even asking. He calls, this is what we doing. I don't care what you doing. I'm in. What you doing? My squad, the people I call, when I call them, what you doing? They don't ask what I'm doing. They want the information. They don't jump blindly. But they're already on the edge of saying, yes, I'm in. If you can make it make sense to me, you can validate it. I know you ain't leaving me into a river. What the hell you doing? I need to know what you're doing. Value. How much value do you bring to the game? Why should somebody pick up the phone when you call? Why should somebody show up when you invite them? All that is about value. Why should somebody stay with you after you get the door open? You see people that keep going through breakups and can't keep a man, can't keep a woman. You know why? Not enough value. There's a problem. After they get it, there's a default. It's an amazing product, and then there's something default inside of it. That's why you take things back to the store. It's like, it didn't do what I thought it was going to do. The E. I'm sorry, value. You guys with me on that so far? Vibes. We're talking about vibes. So I said I. The I is I squared because you got to become an impact player. That's a training in itself. You guys have heard me talk about And the only thing I'm going to put you and align you with that on that, family, is you have to have a mental tattoo. You must become a mental tattoo. See, Al Thomas, I'm Al Thomas, got the hat to say, mental tattoo. You'll never forget Al Randolph. I'm sorry. You guys found me on that so far. You'll never forget Al Randolph. You'll never forget Bree. Many of the people on here, they have their signature. What's your signature that people aren't going to forget who you are when it comes to the vibe? I call it an impact player. And then the I. So as we were driving back, we are already scheduled for a minimum of 6. What me and my partner, while we're driving, I said, what we're going to do is we're going to bring some more of the tribe. We're going to play this game. And from this moment right now, August, for the next 12 months, we're going to go to an event, a convention, an intimate setting, a high vibrational. It has to be worth it. I mean, they're charging, $7,000 per event. How much are you investing in going to grow yourself every year? We're going to a minimum of 12. So we're already mentally prepared to pay. Now, we aren't going to do that because we're shrewd business people, but we're prepared to invest a minimum of 100 to 200,000 over the next 12 months at being in the right place. What we did while we were there, while they were making their offer, they said, okay, you can put down 1,000, you're going to get 10,000. This is what you're going to get for it. We immediately went and evaluated the audience, the clients, the people that were there, and said, we could take this $10,000 and turn it into $2 million, what we have and what we're doing. Just off because they're all looking, they all have money, they all have paid at least $6,000 just to be here for this day. Just the people alone, we know where the money lives. We know where the clients live. We know what the business we have. We know what we have to offer. We're like, we could take this 10,000. You'd have to be stuck on stupid to not be able to turn this upside down and be able to just truly 20x this client base if you are who you need to be as a brand. But so many people are trying to go door to door or trying to get business for cold market. No, you're cold. You haven't invested $1 in yourself to put yourself in a position for success. It's called a collision for success. It's in my book. You guys will get it. I'm working on it now. That's why I'm underground. So that first I is an impact player. The second one is invest. That's why it's I squared. Now, what is the B? The B stands for brand. I'm 1 minute over. Brand. So I'm gonna have to run through this. Brand. A brand is a promise. That's all I'm gonna say. Then I have E squared. Well, I already gave you one of them, elevator pitch. So this is what the vibe is. I'm not even gonna put the S on it. Scratch out the S, just put vibe. I could come up with something, but I don't need to make up something. Vibe by itself is what it is. You need to create a vibe. Now, the second E, the beginning and the end are the most important thing of vibe. I'll go into this next Friday. Nod your head if you guys are with me, yes? Value, and at the back end, what I live for. In fact, I would die without it. It's called experience. An experience. Everything that I do, how many of you right now in this conversation, in this call, are having an experience? How many would like it to go another hour? No, I'm shutting it down right now, but how many would like it to go another hour? Nod your head, because you know I'm just warming up. I want to be with somebody in business. I want to be with somebody as a friend. I want to be with somebody with my family. When me and Dom work out, it's a freaking experience. I want to have an experience every time I talk to somebody, every time I'm good or bad, indifferent, we're going to have an experience. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy the ride. You want to create something majestic? Become the experience. You know why the events we have and the one we have in a few weeks are coming, it's an experience. But until you create your own experience in a conversation with 5 people in a Zoom call, when you go to the store, when you go to Starbucks, did you pay for 3 people behind you? Hey, you know what? I want you to have the best experience you ever had at Starbucks. I just paid for your coffee and a muffin. My name is T. What's your name? Create experiences for people. In order, you want to become freaking, what's your name? My name is Jasmine, just like the flower. Don't get it twisted. You'll get high if you sniff too high. When people meet me, you know, the last thing I'm on a roll. I'm gonna stop and check this out. Check this out. When people meet me, the first thing they ask me, this happened all day yesterday. Many of you have been around me. How you doing? freaking amazing. Don't touch me. I'm freaking contagious. And then I put my hand on their shoulder. Ah, shit, you done got it now. What's your name? What's your name, Joe? What's your name, Anita? How you doing? Yep, it's over now. It's worse than COVID. You're going to be amazing for the rest of your life. You can't even get rid of it, and you can't get rid of me. So what we doing? What we going to create now? That's, oh, the guy took a picture with me yesterday. Let me get on this side. We want you in the middle. Oh, we doing a reverse Oreo. We doing white on white and black in the middle. Let's do this. Oh, we about to have an experience here, boy. Yes. Yes. I'm going to leave you with this last statement. I'm done. Live unapologetically. Life is too freaking short. Let the world see you. Stop playing small. Stop it. Get out of your head and get into the world and freaking live. I'm done. Thank you, Mr. Thomas.